Alright, guys, let's talk about another topic. I'm back, by the way. Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. So, if you guys don't know already, Nintendo came out with the Nintendo Switch 2, and there was a whole ass direct for it. There was some good ass games there. We have Mario Kart, we have the brand new. All I know is Mario Kart. There's like a bunch of other games coming out of the Nintendo Switch 2. And there's also. The price for the Switch 2 is expensive as fuck. So, yeah, that's how we do it. Alright. And there was a lot of backlash with the pricing. And so Nintendo had to delay the Switch 2 further. And the pre-order has been delayed for a while. And yeah, let's just watch this video.
Man, I hate this. I hate this. I don't want to talk about this. I'm tired. You hear my voice? The cold is catching up with me. I'm tired. I talk about Nintendo and play Nintendo to escape stuff. You know, I really want this to just be a video about a piece of Nintendo news, you know, but pre-orders for Switch 2 getting delayed. It does not exist in a vacuum. This is not the sort of thing you could just be like, oh, you know, they're getting delayed. See you later. We'll update you when we know when the new pre-order date is. Yeah, pre-orders are supposed to go out, start on the 9th. And right now, nobody knows when it's going to happen, at least here in the U.S., and that's because nobody knows what is going to happen here in the US. At least at this moment, Nintendo is insisting that the June 5th release date,
It's still there, the June 5th. That still stays.
is still solid. But as for when we're going to be able to pre-order, we don't know. And I think they don't know.
Yeah, this whole Nintendo Switch 2 shit is a whole disaster.
And a lot of stuff is really up in the air right now. We kind of touched on it in the prices video, the tariff stuff. And I really don't want to dredge up the whole pricing thing right now. But like, I do have to say, this idea that like this is all purely just 100% greed on the part of Nintendo is really, really silly, because at least here in the US, it may become very, very, very expensive for anybody
It's
to
really expensive in Canada too. Isn't it worth more in Canada than it is in the Switch? Or the US?
ship and sell products overseas to here. This is a very, very serious issue. And some people say, you know, like, well, it's not every other territory. Why are they selling this stuff for so expensive elsewhere? And I don't have all the answers right now. But, like, the U.S. is one of their biggest and most profitable territories. So no matter what happens, this really could affect their bottom line in a very, very big way. And sure, maybe there is some element here where, like, they're just kind of doing it because they think they can get away with it. Then there's also the idea that they're future-proofing because they foresee the economy tanking even harder. And so they're just trying to get ahead of things. Whatever. That's the whole price thing. Let's try to just set the pricing thing aside for the moment. It's so complicated. At least right now, we can't pre-order Switch when we thought the Switch 2 when we thought we could, because nobody knows what's going to happen. If the tariff stuff goes through as planned, there's going to be a 46% tariff on Vietnam, which is where Nintendo manufactures their Switch 2 consoles. And Japan is where they manufacture game carts, and there'd be a 24% tariff on that. Meaning that even at the current prices, even with an $80 game and a $450 system,
It's still like gay.
selling those products here, the increased price is barely even going to touch how much money Nintendo is set to lose. And
Yeah.
Nintendo hates to lose money on hardware. You know, a lot of the other companies will sell hardware at a loss. And honestly, if I were running a business, I feel like that is the way to do it, because you don't make money on the hardware, you make money on the software. You want to get the hardware in people's hands. You try to break even. But whatever the case, Nintendo doesn't like to lose money on hardware. They like to make money on hardware. But right now, like, we can't possibly know how much it costs them to manufacture and ship these consoles. We don't know what their profit margin is or was gonna be on a Switch 2, but with a 46% tariff for their consoles and 24% on the
Yeah, the Switch 2 is fucked from the get-go. They chose Nintendo. It could have been. There was no worse time to choose it than now. They released this shit on a very horrible timing.
games themselves. I mean, like, yeah, I really don't know all of this stuff, but like, at least just looking at just doing like the basic math, wouldn't they have to sell a console for like $800 to like actually like make up for it? I don't know. They've tacked another $50 on versus what we expected. And yet, like, I don't know. That's kind of nothing. And even 24% on the games. So yeah, I really don't know. I don't know all of the raw numbers. I just know right now, nobody knows what's going to happen. We just don't know. And, it's easy to be mad at Nintendo, but yeah. I kind of feel, at least from where I'm sitting, golly, sure hope I don't upload videos like this and everybody's like, oh, you're wrong about all this. You don't know what you're talking about. But at least from where I'm sitting right now, the way I see it, this might not be Nintendo, charging into uncharted pricing territory, just doing it because they can. It could just be that Nintendo happens to be the first company releasing a bunch of really big, high-profile stuff in proximity to all of these potential changes. There is a chance that this is going to have a really There is a chance.
Damn. Some Nintendo Switch games may not be supported.
That this is going to have a really incredibly serious impact on the entire industry, not even just video games, but the entire tech industry. Really serious impact on how much it costs for companies to manufacture and ship these products to us. Having to pay more for games, I don't think this is just a Nintendo thing. I think we're gonna see this pretty across the board. And it's easy to talk about video games. Again, I really like to focus on video games. I really want to on this channel. And just personally, I'd love to just focus on video games, but
yeah,
this is not going to just affect video games.
It can affect like the world or the country maybe.
This might be a really incredibly serious problem for our entire country and its entire economy.
The economy's fucked.
And yeah, we find ourselves in a really weird situation where everybody's just kind of holding their breath to see what happens.
This is sad that right now is like the worst time to like live.
Because I don't know. I don't know have we ever been in a situation like this where if something goes through, it has the potential to disrupt just the very like order of how things work so dramatically that it seems like unrealistic. Like it seems so unrealistically disruptive that nobody could really anticipate it, and so no one knows what to do. And everybody is just kind of waiting because it cannot be overstated how much of an impact this is going to have on everything. And so at least here in the US, there is a fine chance that we are going to have to pay a lot more for Switch 2s, or it is also possible that Nintendo is just going to not give us that many. If they're eating
That's his only hope.
profit on each unit sold, we might just not get a bunch. They might just give us like some. You know what I mean? Because like this is gonna be a big launch all over the world. Millions and millions of people are looking to get their hands on a Switch 2. But it's very possible that at least here in the US, it might be extraordinarily hard. It might be harder than even the Wii in the first couple years. And of course, I don't know. I suppose this is just speculation, but just think about it. If they're going to lose that much money per unit,
Yeah, you might as well just make it less.
they're going to have to charge a lot more and or just sell less to us. But then like what does that look like long term?
Yeah, well, fuck
If
them.
these are long-term changes, okay, I know that's it. Game consoles forevermore just start at $700-800 like a PS5 Pro, even cheaper stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But it's worrisome. It's pretty worrisome, you know. This is my job. This is a pretty important thing, Nintendo. It's kind of a thing. And so the idea that it's going to be next to impossible to get the next Nintendo system, especially now, like the Switch 2, I'm very excited about it. I'm very happy about it. It's all really cool. Games are cool. Systems cool. So now this, yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. The very, very, very small silver lining for me. Oh, phew, I was worried about securing a pre-order. Now I don't have to worry about it for a while longer, because that's the thing. Scalpers were already making this stuff really hard. I just genuinely, I don't know how I'm going to get a Switch 2. I don't have, like, the tenacity to, like, be there and have all these tabs open and be, like, trying to beat the bots. I have no confidence that I'll be able to beat the bots. So at the very least, I don't have to, I can just put off worrying about it a little bit longer. But yeah, it's a thing. And it's not just a thing for video games. It's kind of a thing for all of us.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I don't know. I get it. The prices, it stinks. There are many, many factors to consider. And sure, Nintendo does like to be kind of greedy. They do like to make money. I just think that, at least right now, Nintendo is not the authority that you should be raging against.
Yeah, it's somebody else that you should be raging against. Yeah, so the Switch prices are going up, and yeah, or the Switch price is really high, and you know, shit's crazy, man. It's crazy shit right here. All right.